Today I'm going to show you how simple it is to build something like this. The plastic I used here is, I think, 4 mil thickness. I got it at Lowe's, and it's a 10-foot by 100-foot roll. And I was able to wrap 2 of these, and I still have a lot left if I wanted to expand my system by 2 or 3 more tanks, I believe. The wrapping of the tank is pretty straightforward. You're going to basically wrap it like a big present. You got to cut out the valve, of course. And then you got to cut out the hole for the lid. And just simply shove it back into its cage. Lock it down, move it into place, and get it level. I knew that when the time came to set up the rainwater system that I was going to have to do the gutters, and I just didn't know which side I was going to choose yet. And after a year living here, I watched the way the water flowed and the runoff around the side of the house, and this was the best side to do it. And with the size of my house and my roof, I can collect 600 gallons of water with just 1 inch of rainfall. Then you're going to set up your first flush system, and this is a series of, this is actually 4-inch pipe necked down to 2-inch. Put some type of mesh in the opening there where it's going to have the first catch from the downspout, and to catch kind of large debris, leaves, sticks, you name it. I worked till dark, and I just called it quits and finished it the rest in the morning. And basically what you missed there was just me coming down with an elbow with the fall pipe down to another elbow, and then moved across to each sanity that went down into each tank lid. So I went with a camouflage paint that more or less matched the house the best, so it kind of blended in. I'm going to build an enclosure, a partial enclosure around the tanks themselves out of wood. The house is still a work in progress. As you can see, I have not done any of the mortar chinking on the outside. The foam in between the gaps is still there. It's still exposed, but it's just as strong as it was almost 2 years ago. It's catching rainwater was a priority. You get your resources handled first. So here's the ball. It's just a tennis ball that goes inside the first flush system. There's also a really tiny hole drilled in the bottom of that cap, I should say. And what the ball does, as I said, is when this first flush pipe fills up with the dirty water, the ball will float to the top and get lodged in the neck down area and keep the dirty water down in the pipe. And then the good cleaner water will continue on to your tanks. And then over time, over a course of a day or so, that little teeny hole, a weep hole in the bottom of that cap, will allow the water that's in the first flush to drip out into a bucket or whatever. So these sanities, 2-inch sanities, they go into a little piece of pipe which goes into a 2-inch threaded fitting that threads down into the lids on these IBC totes, which is 2 inches, which is perfect. So it's all tight, airtight, watertight. And then I have another 2-inch fitting. This one is just a pressed fit in there. It has a threaded hole to accept a hose, which that is the overflow, and it will run down to basically a dish. This is a very old setup that we did years and years ago on the lean-to, and it's just a regular gutter system right down into the opening of the hole at the top of the IBC tote with another auto water system. This one does have the float in it, and it works perfect. I just leave the valve open on the hose, and the float controls the level. Our first filtration method, just in case there is any bacteria that got into with the rainwater, is a Sawyer filter. It's a gravity filter, and we just hook it up to the end of the hose bib. So here we have a 20-gallon tank, a food-safe tank that I have strapped to the wall, and it basically holds all of our water we need for several days for washing dishes. And I have a simple, water line connected to the bottom of it with an on-off like that you would find on a sink or a toilet. Rainwater is every source of water, no matter where you get it. Your springs, your wells, any groundwater, tap water, you name it, it starts as rain. And rain is contaminated as well these days. So that's why we go with a reverse osmosis system and distillation as backup, because those are the only two that take out basically everything. If this is news to you, I suggest you watch the video that I made on water safety. So as I said in the beginning of the video, guys, that rainwater, it's a simple thing to collect. And my advice still stands, don't overcomplicate the system. You just need to collect it, store it, and purify it. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them if I left something out. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you're drinking clean water. Stay safe out there. See you again soon.